Well, hello enemies book lovers. My name is Ash and welcome back to my channel. This is going to be my May wrap up, and I will be honest with you, this was my worst reading month in a very long time. I read hardly anything. I will say though, I read around I think like half of the TBR I had, but for me that's pretty bad. I usually read around 75% or more, so me only reading half of the books I had planned to read is atrocious to say the least. So let's go over the books I read in May, or let's first talk about the books I was planning on reading, what I didn't read, and what I ended up reading. So let's do that first. 3,800 pages is almost impossible to me because I read on average, try to read 100 pages a day, so it's probably not even possible for me to even achieve this number, especially in the busiest month of the entire year. May is my busiest month. I had very little time to read in May. I also just wasn't really in the mood to read. I wanted to do other things, so I did more D&D, I played more video games, and so I didn't really have a lot of time for reading. That being said, these are the books I wanted to read for May. This is actually a very ambitious thing for me to want to do. I had 8 things on the list. One of them was a manga, but still 7 novels on this list, and I only read 3, so actually worse than I expected. Let's first go over the star ratings. Like I said, I only read 3 novels and 2 manga. So the 2 manga I do not usually rate. I rated one of the mangas 4.5 stars because I think Black Butler is getting very good now. I think it's 25 and 26 of Black Butler, and it's getting very good. I just read 27 yesterday, and it was the darkest I've read in the Black Butler series. It was so messed up, but it was actually really good in my opinion. So I think Black Butler is getting very good. It's getting a lot more serious and it's a lot more backstory, and I'm loving it. But I only read 3 other books besides that. So let's go into the ratings for those 3 novels. So for May, I gave one book 3 stars, one book 3.25 stars, and one book 3.5 stars. I read a total of 1,817 pages, which is almost nothing, but considering I hardly even read at all, it's not bad. It could be way worse, but not bad. Some of it was also Brandon Sanderson. I'll get into that in a second. So yeah, some of it was also just things I read that I didn't finish. But let's go over the books I didn't read first, because I feel like this is important to do. The first one was my TBR jar pick. It was A Trial of Sorcerers. I decided to just put this back in my TBR jar because I knew I couldn't get to it. I decided to put it back. So I might eventually pick up A Trial of Sorcerers again in my TBR jar in the future when I do this, but unfortunately I didn't get to it. I just didn't get to it. I just couldn't have gotten to it. I wasn't reading enough and my TBR was way too big. My own fault for making it that ambitious. I knew it wasn't going to be possible, so it's my own fault for adding it, but still, I wanted to try getting into it and it just didn't happen. So I still am looking forward to this one. I just never got to it. Another one that I'm a little bit ashamed of, it's like what, the 3rd or 4th month I'm going into this book with, as Words of Radiance. I will say I'm a little over halfway now, so I am getting into that, but you should see a reading vlog on this in the next week or 2. So I should be finishing this very soon because I need to do a reading vlog on it. Usually when I have a goal to finish something, it motivates me to actually do it. So I can't really procrastinate as much. So I will actually be finishing this soon because I actually have to. And then everyone that's kind of buddy reading it with me in real life, so I have 2 D&D friends, they already finished this book and that's pretty bad because I read a lot faster than them. So the fact that I didn't finish this before them is pretty bad. So they're telling me like, finish it, read it. I need to talk to you about it. And I'm like, I will. So I need to read this soon. So that way when I go to D&D, I can have a conversation with them about this book because they're dying to talk to me about it. So I will read it soon, I promise. But I should get this done within the next 2 weeks and also have a reading vlog up for it if anyone's excited about it. I am very excited because I've heard this is like one of the best books in the series. So I'm really looking forward to this one and seeing what happens. I will finish it this month. 100% it is happening this month. I think. I hope. For this one, I actually expected to read it, and I had it in my hands, and I was going to read it. I just don't think I was ready for it mentally, and that is The Handmaid's Tale. I do still want to read this book. I think it's a very important book, and I think it has a lot of important subject matters, but the problem is I just don't know if I can handle it right now. I feels like when I put this on my TBR, I was fully ready to read it, and then by the time I actually got to the point of picking it up, I wasn't able to read it. I just don't think I was mentally ready for it, and I still don't know if I am, and I do not want to put myself in like an emotional headspace, so for now, I'm putting this down. This will be eventually another TBR video in the future because I will read it when I'm ready to, but this is definitely still going to be on my want to read list to read in the future because I think it's a very important book to read. And then the last one, I did mention this on my TBR for my June TBR, and that is Fall of Giants by Ken Follett. This, I didn't even start yet. I do plan on reading this in the next few months. So literally, it might take me like 4 or 5 months, but I do plan on reading this slowly over time once I have more time in my TBR. So I'm hoping that July will be a smaller TBR so I can kind of have more books on the side or books I plan on kind of like sneaking into my TBR. So this is going to be one of those books where I kind of hope that if I have more time in the month or if I have things I want to read and I have space for it, I will add Fall of Giants. I do want to read this. It sounds really good. So I want to still try it. So I will do that someday, I promise. But I didn't get to them in May because again, May was way too busy and I don't know why I was overly ambitious, but here we are, realizing that I have consequences to my actions. I should not be adding TBRs that are way too long because I have not learn my lesson, clearly. Other than those 4 books, I still had books I did read. So let's talk about the 3 books I did end up reading in the month of May, and again, not very many, but let's talk about them really quickly. The first one, I'm going to make it very brief because I have a whole reading vlog on it, and that is Stephen King's Firestarter. This is about a daughter and a father who are on the run because the father was experimented on when he was in college with his wife, and they had a child, and that's where we see Charlie. Charlie is a pyrokinesis, and so she can move things with her mind, and she can also do things with fire when she uses her power sometimes. She can't really control it. She is a child. She's like 8 years old, so it makes sense as to why this is really difficult for her. And like I said, I have a whole reading vlog on it, but I gave it 3.25 stars. I did enjoy it. I don't think it was like my favorite Stephen King book. Definitely not. There's been a lot of stronger books in my opinion, but I had a fun time with it. It had similarities to Carrie, so if you enjoy Carrie, I definitely think you would like Firestarter. I might enjoy my time with it. It was a bit long. It felt kind of tedious. And I did like the beginning a lot more than the end. When they're on the run, I had a lot more of a fun time. I think it was described really well. There's also like this anxiety and nerve-wracking feeling as they were being chased and followed and trying to be found, and they're trying to keep a low profile. I actually like that part a lot. The later half, not as much. It's still good, but it wasn't as strong in my opinion. So I would have probably rated like a 4 stars in the first half and then like a 3 stars in the last half. So I gave it a 3.25 to kind of balance it out, and it finished okay. Not the strongest though. I definitely think he has a way better books, but still not bad. The next book I read was a 3-star book, and that was Dating and Dragons by Kristy Boyce. I really liked the first book. It was like Dungeons and Drama was the first book. I loved it. It was so much fun. It was so cute and simple. It's a very fun like D&D romance kind of book, YA. Very wholesome and sweet. I really enjoyed the first book. This book though, I had a hard time getting into it. So in the first book, there's like this fake dating kind of situation where he's trying to get his someone that he's interested in jealous. For this book, it is completely different. This one is about Quinn, who wants to join a D&D group, and within this group is Logan. But there is a little bit of a hitch, and that is Logan's group will not allow people to date within the D&D group because they live stream their sessions. And so they live stream and they don't want anyone to date because they don't want to like have any breakups and make it awkward or break up the group. And so they really want it to be something that they keep outside of the games themselves. So if you want to date, you cannot be a part of the same party or the same campaign. And unfortunately, Logan and Quinn want to be together. They're very much interested in each other, and it is pretty apparent pretty early on. So there are some positives to this one. I definitely think this one had more of the sessions themselves. So there's a lot more of the D&D conversations. You see a lot more of the party interacting with each other in more of the campaign or in the D&D sessions themselves. And so you see a lot more D&D in this book compared to the first book, which I actually liked a lot because I love D&D. You don't have to know or be aware what D&D is. They do a pretty good job kind of explaining it. But there is a negative that kind of goes with that. I'm going to say this in a way that I don't mean to be rude at all to anyone that DMs this way. Usually with D&D, if you're not familiar with it, there is someone called the DM or the GM, so the game master or the dungeon master, and they are the person that kind of sits behind the screen and tells you the story, and you have to choose what you want to do as a player. And so the way that the sessions are played out and the way that they're live streaming to get views and people like watching their videos and their content and the actual session themselves aren't that strong. Like the way that it was done, in my opinion, I don't know if people would have actually watched. I watch D&D campaigns on the internet, and a lot of the time, very small creators who aren't as strong with role-playing and improv don't tend to get as many views. And it definitely was hard to read them playing because it just felt like a really, really basic way to play D&D. It wasn't very advanced. It wasn't very cinematic at all. I also love the DM. They were one of my favorite characters. I love them so much, but they kind of did it in a way that was just like not that enticing as a person watching it. I wouldn't really want to watch this. So again, I'm not trying to be mean to anyone that does this, but if you're going to live stream it, it's going to be kind of hard to get an audience. It's a fictional novel and they are teenagers, so I will give them a little bit of leeway. Again, it's a fictional book. I'm not upset about it. I'm just kind of thinking to myself, would they really realistically, have an audience? I don't know, but it was still really cute. I liked the whole concept overall. I found it to be fun as someone that watches campaigns and also plays D&D. I still thought it was a fun time. I still liked it for the most part. I did get kind of bored though. It wasn't as interesting or as good in my opinion from the first book, but it was still sweet. Overall, I definitely recommend the first book and giving this one a shot too, but was not my favorite, unfortunately. I really was hoping it would be because I love the first one so much. I love the concept of these books, but just was not for me, unfortunately. And on to the third and final book for this video, because like I said, I only read 3 novels. The third and final book is Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. I gave this book a 3.5 stars, and I'm actually kind of surprised now that I think about it. I feel like this deserves a lower rating. I don't know if I should change it or not. This kind of deserves more of a 3 than anything else. but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. This is the third installment from the Blood and Ash series, and I liked parts of it. This took me way too long to read. It took me for like weeks to read, and that's pretty bad because the first two books I really kind of liked. I mean, again, not the best thing I've ever read, not the most advanced prose, not like the best thing ever. It's kind of typical romantasy, very early romantasy, and I kind of found that to be fun. But this one was just a slog. There was way too much info dumping, too many pages. It just felt like just too much for me. There's just so much information that I just don't care about. And that sounds really, like, maybe it's my own problem, but there's just so much to learn and it's not even that interesting. Like, I read Brandon Sanderson's books and I am completely enamored into his world. I want to know every little detail. I want to know about the magic systems. I want to know about the world itself. This, I don't care. Poppy is constantly asking questions. She's always asking what's this and how does this work and who are these people? And I just don't care. And it feels like she cares too much because she's constantly asking. And it's a very tell, not show, and it's a little bit too much to me. I still like some of these characters. I still like Hawk, personally. I still do like him. Does he have his ups and downs? Yes. Kieran, though, I still love Kieran. The dynamic between the three characters, I love it so much. I love a trio, so it makes me so happy to see these three as like friends slash whatever they're going to be. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of that in the next few books. I do plan on continuing the series because I think it has some potential, but I've heard it kind of goes downhill. So I'm a little nervous, but the next book is going to be the side series, the secondary series. And so I am just curious if I'll like that one as well. I will say I forget like most of the characters. If you are not a main character in this series, I forgot who you are because again, I just wasn't that interested in this one. There's just so many characters, so many things happening. It was a hard time to kind of wrap my head around. I just didn't care enough. And then maybe that's my own problem. Maybe that's my own problem, but I just couldn't really help it, okay? I had a hard time getting through this book. I also find Poppy to be a huge Mary Sue. I'll put like maybe a definition up or something, maybe, to show what Mary Sue means. But she's like the definition of that. And it's a little bit annoying at times, but at the same time, I get it. She's a main character. But sometimes I'm just like, oh my god, what does this woman not have at this point? But I do not hate Poppy. I definitely think that she has some strengths. I just think that sometimes she's just a bit much. She's a bit much, but I still like her. I still think she's a very strong female character, which I love to see. But sometimes it's a lot, and the romance is interesting, but also I don't know how I feel about it at times. So I'm going to try more. I'm going to try to continue the series and see if I like it. Again, I've heard it goes downhill, which if this one wasn't that interesting to me, I'm afraid to see what happens next. I do know about the joining. I'm not mad about it, but also if it's not done well, I'm not going to be happy with it. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. But again, who knows? Maybe I'll like the next book. I'm very curious. But this one was probably the weakest one so far for me. And I was hoping that would not happen, but it did. It did happen. But I think the ending was... Don't talk to me about the ending. The ending was the only part I actually cared about, and I'm actually interested in continuing the series for. So at least the ending had something that actually wanted me to continue. I will try the next book in the From Blood and Ash series. If it becomes too much for me though, I might just DNF the series. I'm hoping that does not happen. I want to continue it. I'm just hoping it gets better. If you have read the entire series, please let me know if it gets good, at least at the end, like the more recent ones. I heard that the next few ones, at least after 3, so like 4 and 5 maybe, are not that good. And is there a 6th book? I don't know. Essentially, let me know if the books get better, either in this series or the side series. Because I really want to try and hope that it does. If it doesn't, I don't want to think about it. But again, I'll try it, see if I like it, and if I don't like it, I'll DNF it. I have no worries about DNFing books. I do not hesitate to DNF anymore. I used to, not anymore. So if I don't love it, I will DNF it. But hopefully not. I have some hope. So with that, those are the 3 books I read in May. Again, not as many as I would have liked, but still. I still had fun when I got time to read. Hopefully June, though, I will have more books read. I definitely want to try getting some more books read in June. Will I, though? I don't know. I think the next few months are very free for me. There's nothing planned. It's usually like more the holiday-based months, and then May are the really busy months for me. So I'm looking forward to having more months I can actually have some time to read in. The problem is wanting to read. That's my problem. I'll get more books read hopefully this month, and hopefully better books. These are all in the 3-star range. So hopefully some 4+ star books. If I finish this book in June, it's going to be probably the best book of the month because I already have the feeling of it. There is some hope that I will have some amazing books in June because this book is there. So I have high expectations for June. So hopefully this expectation will be met because I really need that right now. So with that, I'm going to end the video off here. I will show you my little sad diagram of all the books I read in June. Again, not impressive, but I still had fun, kind of. It was an okay month, okay? It was an okay month. I will be honest with you. It was okay. So, whatever. It's fine. It's fine. If you have been here for this long or just have nothing to say, put some dice emojis down below for Dating and Dragons. Didn't love it, but you know what? I love D&D. So dice is a great thing to put down below. I hope that one day they will add D20s to the emojis because I would love to see a D20 emoji. That would make me happy. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys so much. Hopefully you had some okay reads in May. Let me know if you want to. And if not, hopefully June has some amazing books for both of us. So have a great day. Have a great reading month in the month of June. And I hope to see you all soon. Goodbye, everyone.